Photos of the Titanic tragedy from 110 years ago. RMS Titanic departing Southampton on April 10, 1912. Titanic suite decorated in Empire style. Captain Edward John Smith at the Titanic Bridge on the morning of April 10, 1912. First Class Titanic menu on April 10, 1912. First Class Steward Charles Caswell sent it to his wife from Queenstown. The Titanic steams down the Solent soon after starting its maiden voyage. Kate snaps the immense starboard side of the ship. Francis Brown stood on the starboard boat deck in the sailing day. The starboard anchor being raised. This photo was taken by Francis Brown as he disembarked on the tender Ireland. Titanic leaving Queenstown, Ireland, on April 11, 1912. Titanic is steaming in the vicinity of Land's End, and it is clear from the S-shaped wake that she has made a serpentine course. Francis Brown held his camera over the A-deck bulwark rail on the starboard side to photograph. Crowded with people saying goodbye to Titanic passengers. Photograph taken from the boat by Father Francis Brown from the ship boat deck. Titanic starboard side cafe veranda. This photo was taken from the edge of the wharf. New York, being pushed into berth N² 37, can be seen at the right side of the photo. Titanic has moved forward some distance, but is again stopped. The tug Vulcan is alongside her aft port quarter, ready to offload the last standy crewman. Titanic swimming pool on F deck. Titanic earlier Southampton, April 1912. Titanic reversed her course, drifts back toward the mouth of White Star Dock, as New York is maneuvered to a temporary mooring in the River Itchen. The Titanic leaving Southampton. Titanic first class dining room by Father Brown, probably at breakfast time. First class B-63 stateroom on board the Titanic. Titanic sea deck construction. Titanic at her arrival to Cherbourg, France, about the 1830, April 10, 1912. Titanic's passenger Percival White, who went down with the ship, standing on the boat deck outside the gymnasium. Titanic photographed during her way by reaching her first stop-off. Titanic berthed at the port of Southampton, England. Second Officer Lightoller and First Officer Murdoch through Titanic's open starboard E-deck door forward when the ship was found at Queenstown, on April 11, 1912. The most probably last photo of Titanic, leaving the Irish coast, bound for New York. The launch of the hull of the Titanic into the River Lagan. Titanic gym on April 11, 1912. Instructor Macaulay demonstrates the rowing machine. Titanic's portside boat deck of second-class promenade. Titanic forecastle view from boat deck. Photograph of Titanic's bow taken from its starboard side. Titanic off Cowes on the Isle of Wight, moving east through the Solent. Titanic under construction at early September 1911, B-deck modifications can be seen at this picture. Colorized photograph of the RMS Titanic leaving Belfast's Thomson Dry Dock at the end of September 1911, to allow her sister ship, the RMS Olympic, to enter the dock for repairs suffered after the collision with the warship HMS Hawke on the 20th of that same month. Titanic stern frame construction. Titanic safely on her way. On the left, the RMS Oceanic and the SS New York can be seen. Albert Caldwell, Sylvia and their son Alden were photographed on the Titanic's starboard aft B-deck second-class area. The Caldwell were American Presbyterian missionaries traveling back home from Siam to Illinois. Titanic leaving Southampton after narrowly avoiding a collision with SS New York. The only picture of the Marconi radio room on board the Titanic. Harold Bride is seated on the back. Titanic's forward deck. The young boy on the right of the frame is Jack Odell. Picture taken by the Odell family. Colorized photo of Ned Parfit, best known as the Titanic Paperboy, holding a large newspaper banner advert about the sinking, standing outside the White Star Line offices at Oceanic House on Cockspur Street near Trafalgar Square in London SW1, April 16, 1912. Private promenade deck of Titanic Suite B. Titanic's first-class stateroom B-60. After a deck Titanic for first-class passengers. Last lifeboat successfully launched from the Titanic. Titanic's port-side A-deck promenade. First-class A-deck port-side promenade aboard the Titanic, looking to the bow steamer. Original photograph of the Titanic's Turkish baths, taken the day before the ship's departure from Southampton. View of the hydraulic launch rams of the Titanic, seen from the portside bow of the ship. New York American 1912 headline for the Titanic. From the boat deck level. Ned Parfitt, paperboy, outside the White Star Line offices in London, April 16, 1912. 10 of the surviving deck crew members of the RMS Titanic, 1912. Photo of Harold Bride, the assistant wireless operator of the RMS Titanic, as he testified at a U.S. Senate committee hearing into the sinking of the ship in 1912. Titanic disaster. Senate investigating committee questioning individuals at the Waldorf Astoria. The 4 surviving officers of the Titanic. From left to right, Harold Lowe, Charles Lightoller, Joseph Boxhall. Sitting, Herbert Pittman. Forging the anchor chain for the Titanic at Netherton, UK, in 1910. The ship, Minia, joined the search for victims of the Titanic crash. Here, the crew retrieves a body of the deceased. The first-class gymnasium and the only one on board Titanic. Photograph of 2 lifeboats carrying Titanic survivors. RMS Titanic prior to painting, and prior to the A-deck promenades being enclosed. Photo of the iceberg which was probably rammed by the RMS Titanic.
So that was all for today's video. Let us know what you think about it in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our latest uploads. With that said, we will see you next time. Until then, take care.